We are going to do a 2020 F-150 receiver hitch setup. Basically, what I did was I took the bottom 21 millimeter nut loose here, and then I took the top. I took this one off, and then I took the top one just loose. Went over to the other side, 21 millimeter. I got this one off basically, and just the top one's loose. And I'm going to get a set of stands to hold this. Really, it probably would be easier to do this on the ground than the way the directions say, so you can have two people where the bumper's close to the ground in case it does slip. But that's not how they have this. They have you just putting a stand on each side to hold it. And then basically what you do is you slip this out enough, you slide in the flat plates right up in here, in between. You pull the bumper back in, you put a new set of bolts all the way through, and you bolt it down. And then they give you these long tabs with a rod that you slide through right here in this hole, and they come down and they line up right here in that hole, and they bolt through your bottom mounts down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting this bumper pulled back and the set of bolts set in, and then let's see what it looks like. So this is basically how I have the stands set up right here. I would rather have just two people on each side, just one guy pulling back a little bit. Slide that in there, and then put your bolts through and get them started. But yeah, this is what I got right now. You gotta knock these out once you get them out of there, because they have those clips from the factory, so they got to be knocked out of there. So the directions are kind of misleading. They make it seem like you got to pull the bumper back and then you have to slide this up in between, but you can't do that. It actually sits back here on the back side of the frame, and then what you do is after you knock those out of there, you slide your bolts in from behind. You put your hand back in here, you slide your bolt in, and then you take one of those clips and put it on the bolt with the bumper pulled back just a little bit, and then wiggle the bolt through. It's going to be kind of tough, and that clip holds the bolt in the hole, so you can grab the receiver assembly and set it up over top of it and get your nuts started. So now my nuts are started on all four sides, and I can start tightening them down a little bit. But before I do the final tighten, what I'll have to do is I'll have to slide on an angle through here. I'll have to slide these long, it's like a rod that comes through with a bracket, and you'll line your hole up right there. I'll show you real quick. Here's the bolts for those. And you see how I got the concave, or I've got the edge, the umbrella part out with the nipples that grab going through the metal, because they got to grab the metal right here. So what you do is you take this, slide it in there and line all that up, and then start your bolt, and then you do the same thing on the other side. Okay, you see those little spacers I put in there? I'm all the way back here, or that's the actual bolt, the nut backing goes through here. And if you look here, you see the new bolts, the through bolts, goes all the way across. And then basically just the tip is start to get these kind of snug, because as you get these snug and pull all this straight, these will line up here. If you try to line these up first, you're probably going to have problems. And it almost feels like when you start that bolt, it's threaded, but there's just, or it's misthreaded, but there's just so much material in these bracket pieces that it's not that it's misthreaded, or it's just so much material in there, you got to break past that. So this is a 19, this is a 21, The bolt heads are 18. That's it to this kit. I mean, it's super easy to install, and then you just, when you're done, if you want to make final adjustments, don't do anything down here. Don't loosen either one of these bolts down here. You loosen these and make your adjustments and then tighten them back up. It's installed. It's all the adjustment I got out of it. I didn't like how big that gap was between the bumper and the bottom of the truck, the bed area. So I tried to close it up some, but I can't get it to go anymore. So that must be how it's supposed to be, because there's no more adjustment. Anyway, looks like the big nuts that go through the whole entire assembly on the back side, they want them torqued at 130 foot-pounds. And then the ones through the bottom here, they want those torqued to 103 foot-pounds. There's your torque specs. I'm gonna take the old kit and put it back with the truck in case the guy ever wants to take it off of there. He has it, but that's the gist of it. That's how you do this. Pretty simple, easy. Nothing hard about it. I hope this simple content like this helps you guys as well. I'm not trying to be redundant and repetitive with things. I really want to give people the power to do these things themselves and feel confident in it. Really should be two people doing this if you're inexperienced. I only had to have somebody just put their hands on the bumper and kind of stabilize it as I slid the bolts through, and then put those little wing clips with the slits in it, the retainer clips. That's the only thing I needed. Somebody just put their hands on it. And then I slid the bolts through, and that was it. It's installed. Thanks, guys. Oh, subscribe to the channel, please.